excited that Erica Lill to join us. Erica, please introduce yourself and share your thoughts, wisdom.
Hello, thank you, Mark. Yes, my name is Erica Lill, and I'm out of Seattle, Washington. I'm a serial entrepreneur and investor for the last 30 years. Been working in the family office world for the last 5 or 6. So I've gotten older. Now I tend to help other companies and entrepreneurs, mentor them, help them grow, scale, raise money. I'm currently working kind of a passion project. I'm working on impact housing and very concerned about what's happening in the housing market right now. I met Mark in Miami through some family office friends, and honestly really love the events and love the group and think they're really well run. Very glad to be a part of it. 2020 has been a very interesting year, and we've made a lot of interesting decisions and changes through the year. I have to say my best decision I made this year was actually to just slow down and take a little bit of downtime, which I think a lot of people did. I found it very interesting that a lot of, particularly men, really got reintroduced to their children, their families, and sort of took a little time to reevaluate what's really important. It's going to be really interesting, I think, to see how things move forward into the new normal. I think people will really value this time of spending this time with their families, actually, even though it's been very hectic, I'm sure, with small kids. So I myself have done that as well, and I took some time to get rested. And my worst decision I made was not investing enough into Amazon and to a couple of the other companies that I knew were going to skyrocket. And I did a little, but I probably should have done a lot more, seeing how things are turning out. But you know, it's okay. It hasn't been a bad year for sure. Not on that side of it for me anyway. Let me see. The next question is more of a global question, certainly well over my pay grade, I'm sure. But from my point of view, I am very concerned about Africa and some of the third world countries. I'm concerned that not only are we not getting any information about what's actually happening as far as COVID, that they're not going to be able to get vaccines. And the longer they don't get vaccines and without any information coming out, I just feel like this problem is going to perpetuate itself much longer than it needs to if we don't go and address those issues right away. So I'm hoping, I know Melinda Gates just donated $250,000, and I'm hoping that we can continue in that front to address this problem so that we can stomp it out. Otherwise, I think it's going to roll around and around. So I think the US, in many ways has done very well. Certainly in our room, I think we've done well. A lot of countries in Europe have done well. China's going to do well. Somebody I said earlier, there's a lot of money that's been made this year. There's going to be a lot of reinvestment and deployment of money happening next year and flooding into the market. And that's great. And I'm all for capitalism, but I certainly hope some of that, a good chunk of that money really gets invested wisely in thoughtful and impactful ways. I'm concerned with 1 million people on unemployment and, 75% of people not able to pay rent. And that number is, I think, going to go down. And so a little concerned about all of that. So I feel like the wealth gap is large, right? And getting bigger. And I'm concerned about that. So as far as the group, what I support UN sustainability as well. And what the part that I'm primarily focused on is poverty and hunger. So I support the several food banks here, actually in my area, and St. Mary's Food Bank is my primary one that I work with on a regular basis, volunteering as well as donating. And really, so my ask is not as much for me, but during this holiday and this new season, if everybody can, concentrate on their local markets, or if you can do national or globally to concentrate on adding food. Food scarcity is just a terrible thing, and we should not certainly have to worry about food at this time in this global economy that we have that's so prosperous. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
What's the one word that you'd like to associate with 2021?
Hope. I'm still hopeful through all of it that, we want peace and we love each other and it's going to be good.